You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo!
My compliments, little lady.
Commercial! Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA Orlando studios from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Sunday. I'm your host, Angela Smarito, and I want to give a shout out to Anna Smarito for the amazing job she does on our YouTube videos. So if you're in the lookout for any good video work or social media management, give BaaD Marketing a call. And actually, that is 321-303-6424. That's a little plug for my own little business there. So we have a brand new guest today to BaaD Radio, and we are welcomed by Renewal by Anderson by Chelsea Zirpola. Yes, I got it. Chelsea is the Chief Marketing Officer, and like I said, Renewal by Anderson. So I'm really, really excited to have you in here today. And I love the fact that you were asking me some questions about me before we got in. She's kind of like, who is this person that's interviewing me right now? And so I got to tell you a little bit of a backstory about the radio show and the BaaD brand and how it came to be. But what I'd like to start off is if we could just talk to the audience about Renewal by Anderson, and we're going to get into the depths of it. But overall, let's talk about what is Renewal by Anderson.
Absolutely, and I think in the Florida markets, if you're a native Floridian, it's still a newer name.
Really?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Anderson and the Renewal by Anderson brand, oftentimes you think, oh, I've heard that our whole lives, right? That's the company to buy from. But I think oftentimes when you look at Florida, you know, we came into this market because we wanted to be sure we were aligning ourselves to Florida building code and having the impact windows and all the things that were necessary to make sure that our homeowners had exactly the product they needed.
Right.
And so for us, you know, we've been in this market for since 2016.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so 2016, right here in Central Florida is when we launched the Renewal by Anderson division here. And so if you look at Renewal by Anderson's history, Anderson, over 100 years of innovation.
Okay.
Renewal by Anderson, almost 30 years across the nation, with amazing products. So for us coming into Florida, having to really build the brand Renewal by Anderson, because I'd heard that the Anderson name,
right?
It was one of those, you know, unique challenges to really take this market to a whole nother level.
Right. Well, the reason I know Renewal by Anderson is because I go to a lot of events.
Sure.
And so I've seen Renewal by Anderson at so many events. And is that just like one of the various different ways that you guys have got out and to the public? Because there's not a lot of companies that really understand the impact of event marketing.
Event marketing's powerful.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think, too, we want to be in our community. We're giving back to our community. We have initiatives with Renewal Cares where we're in the community, we're supporting the community, but really rallying around different causes that help our community become stronger. So event marketing is a very important part of what we do. It's a very small part in comparison to all the things that we do in our community, but we definitely are super active and almost anywhere from, you know, a flower festival to a whatever.
Well, no, I've seen you
we'll be there.
Like Oviedo. Actually, I've seen you in everything from Oviedo to Apopka to Castleberry to whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that that's really, really great. And so that's where I personally have seen the Renewal by Anderson brand. So you said national brand. So the Anderson brand is national, or the Renewal by Anderson brand?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, they both are national. So again, starting with the Anderson legacy over 100 years ago. And then they created about 30 years ago the replacement division of Anderson.
What's that?
So what's different about that is that we are fully custom.
Okay.
So we are not just a window that you pull out of a warehouse in hopes that it'll fit your home. We're actually custom made for every opening, down to the style, the color, whether you want a particular look in that window. We are the company that's going to give you that signature service from start to finish, full circle all the way around. From we order and measure and customize your windows and manufactured in the U.S. in Minnesota. All of our products, right? It's just, it feels good, right? It's American made. And then we make sure we're doing all the permits, we're installing, we're taking you through a turnkey process. So you don't have to find the person. You don't have to worry. We're here, red carpet treatment to take care of our homeowners, and we love that.
No, I love that. I love the fact that it's American made as well. So it's windows and doors. Is there any other services that is provided by Renewal by Andersen?
No, just windows and doors. So you're going to have your entry door system, which is our ensemble entry door, which is amazing. Again, very much so custom. You actually get to do your inner designer, let it come out, and be able to do that thing.
You
It's
have
awesome.
no idea what I'm capable of.
Oh, I can imagine.
My house is decorated like Hogwarts. I kid you
wow.
not. I have a Harry Potter home.
So colors, it's important to you, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you want to make sure that if you want that black chic inside, but your HOA is like, no, you have to have a different color on the outside.
Thank God I don't have an HOA.
But you have that option. That's what's great about custom windows from Renewal by Andersen. We're also different. We're not a vinyl product. Most of other windows out there are vinyl. We're a Fibrex, which is a composite product.
Talk to me about that.
Fibrex is awesome because it doesn't reflect the same way that we see some of the competitor products like vinyl. No fading of color.
Ooh, I like
no
that.
chipping. No, the failure rate's very low. We've really done an amazing job in testing this product in environments like the coast where there's high salinity and we know there's degradation of our products, right? So we come in and we're able to really give you this amazing Fibrex product that is going to last the test of time.
That's awesome.
It's going to keep your family safe from the storms, but it's really a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. As all of us women, we want to design, we want to do all this beautiful stuff. That's Renewal by Andersen.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm from Melbourne, so I grew up over on the beach side. My grandmother lived in Satellite Beach, and it was amazing to me how different the houses and the windows and the cars and everything look because of all the salt in the air. And I mean, it takes a toll without a doubt.
It makes a difference.
For sure. But we were mainland. I was in West Melbourne, but still we spent so much time over there. So it's crazy how you have to take that into consideration when you're actually as the salesperson. So how does the process work? Does a salesperson go to the house and then they go through all the different things? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so it's very simple. We have designers, so we call it, there are design consultants that actually come in the home and they're there to really listen and understand what are your challenges? What are things that you're going through that you just can't stand anymore, right? Is it the window doesn't close and lock? Safety is a big concern today.
Right.
The world is changing and we want to make sure to keep our homeowners safe. So, is it that? Is it energy efficiency? Our energy bills are higher than they've ever been, right?
You're preaching to the choir, girl. You're preaching.
Crazy. And so all of us are going, okay, a lot of what, we want is to keep that cool air in, right? And we're having to take that and notch it down more and more just in order to keep our homes comfortable.
Right.
It has to do with the energy efficiency of our windows. We have more windows in Florida than anywhere else, right? Because we want the light in. We want all that beauty, but we need to keep that harsh UV negative light out.
Right.
And making sure you have energy efficient, beautiful windows is a game changer for your home.
Do you guys do commercial or is it just residential or both?
We're very focused on only residential. We have some cases where maybe you have a law office that's a home and we're able to look at it as a home versus
it's still a house.
It's still a house. It's not like a atypical
Right.
business. So we look at that. Our showroom is on Lee Road in a house, and all the windows are Renewal by Andersen windows. And it's nice because you can see that comparison if you do have a similar business. But we really, for the most part, are focused on residential.
Right. Well, I think that's nice. Like I said, that gives you that individuality to each and everybody's house. So I can imagine that you've got some pretty good stories about different houses that you've gone to. I'm curious, though, because our house was built in 1980, and I love, love, love the windows that are in that house, but they're old, and I know they need to be replaced. And what I'm actually worried about is that I'm not going to be able to get the same window style as I did before. So actually, you know what that means? I'm looking at we have a clock up there now that tells us when we're going to break. So when we're going to go to break, when we get back, let's talk about some of the window styles that we can do. Sure. All right. So everybody stay tuned. We have more BaaD Radio coming up.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore. October is here, so hopefully some cooler weather is coming, but there is no better time to visit Premier Couple Superstore because they have got a huge selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. With Premier Couple Superstore, you don't pay those high prices because you go directly to the source. 5009 South OBT, or shop online at premiercouples.net, because a couple that plays together stays together. Oh, yeah. That's right. All right, we're here with Chelsea, and she is the Chief Marketing Officer for Renewal by Andersen. And before break, I started to talk a little bit about my house and some of the things that I love about my house that might not be able to stay if I want to keep my house safe and my family safe. So one of the things I was talking about was a window that we have in like the kitchen area, and you called it a garden window, and I'm pretty sure that is what it was called. Do you know when garden windows were like all the craze? Because this house was built in 1980, and I think the window is from 1980.
But honestly, I think that uniqueness is still in, right? You love it. You're saying that. Mm-hmm. And I think for us, when we're looking at how do we customize and make sure that we're giving you that best of what you love. Right? Because we talked about, I want to design my own windows. I want to make it where it's something I love. Right. I think that's the greatness about being able to work with a company that have custom windows, not something you're pulling out of a warehouse that's white, and you can't customize, but we have 49 different color combinations. Mm-hmm. We're able to customize it from every aspect. Sometimes it's shape, sometimes it's style. Mm-hmm. We have double hung windows. We have casement awnings. There's so many things that we can customize. But that's the greatness of this design consultant coming in the home.
I want to talk about the design consultant a little bit because I had somebody come in and they gave me no options. They said, that needs to come out and this is what we can put in. And it was flat and it was ugly. And I said, no. And that's really, I meant, honestly, they lost a sale over it because they gave me no flexibility, no option, no anything. They tried to do the scare tactic on me, which I'm telling you right now is not going to work. Like I said, it's been there for that long. It's going to, I'll super glue that thing in there if I have to. But that's what the design person does. So they would sit down with me and like say, okay, Angela, what, you know what I mean? Like,
what do you want? Yeah. And what can we do? And let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. You know, design and curb appeal and those little nuances that are unique to you is what makes your home so special. Mm-hmm. And I think
you're talking
right.
I love
that's why we really come from a customization. We know there's some parameters. Okay, we can't be too crazy, but because we are custom, there's a lot more we can do for you to give you the options so that you can decide, oh, am I willing to do that? Do I like that? Mm-hmm. You know, or, hey, what about this? And you're able to sit with them. You know, we allot up to 90 minutes with our designers.
Oh,
We're not trying to run in and run out there. Mm-hmm. That's not who we are.
Right.
We're here to really listen to your concerns, but also listen to the things that you love.
Right.
What are those things that you love that make your house happy and that make you happy? Because you have to look at it every day. And how can we accommodate those things that put a smile on your face every day?
Yeah. I walk through my house all the time. I'm like, I love my house. I wish my house had more windows. But again, it's a house from the 80s. It's got a sunken living room. It filled up we flooded with Ian. That sunken living room filled up like a pool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awful. But my windows stayed intact, not very well. But like I said, you'd be able to give me some options of even though I can't have that garden window anymore, these are some alternatives, and I can actually think about it and ponder it and say, okay, well, can I still have some shelves to put some of my pretty things on?
Yeah, we can have those conversations, and the designers are well versed in that, right? Mm-hmm. They've seen other homes that have maybe some of the similar challenges, and how did they fix that? Or how did they address those issues, and then share that with you?
Yeah, no, I love that.
That's the greatest thing is you're able to take all the knowledge of all these years of beauty photos of things that were before and after that we were able to accommodate, but still close the energy envelope and make the home just as beautiful and just as functional.
Energy envelope, I love it.
It's just so much of that.
I'm so stealing that term from
energy
you.
envelope.
Well, let's talk because I mentioned about Ian and my house flooding, and it was an absolute nightmare. We didn't have any issues with the wind. It was with the water.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we just had Helene, was it Helene or Helena? Helene, that came through here, and I was a nervous wreck. So in Florida, we have storms. And so that makes people's windows and doors such a priority.
Yes.
How do you guys go about safety checking, and what kind of like procedures do you go through to make sure that the products you're putting on people's houses are going to withhold against those types of winds and rain?
So we did a 20-year durability test in the harshest climates, Miami, Denver, Arizona, all the areas where there are just different types of extreme weather.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess so, because in different parts of the United States, there's different weather issues.
Yeah, you've got blizzards in Denver, but high altitude, right? You have, sandstorms in Arizona. You have hurricanes here.
Wow.
We're all
I didn't
dealing
think about
with
any of
right.
those.
We're all dealing with all these different things. So when they did the 20-year durability test, and you can look it up online, they installed perfectly good, beautiful Renewal by Andersen Fibrix windows. And for 20 years, they monitored their progress. And then 20 years later, they uninstalled these beautiful windows to see, was there failure? Were there areas of degradation? And we're really, really proud to say there was such a limited amount of concern in that durability study that really made sure that we were comfortable with offering coastal impact windows. A claim impact is the window that we have at Renewal by Andersen. Not only can it take the pressure of really intense storms and projectiles coming towards you,
the windows can protect against projectiles?
It's that coastal impact window that is now required to be installed in coastal environments.
Wow.
So some people in Central Florida are opting in because they want to make sure that they're protected no matter what.
No, that makes sense. I know my grandmother used to have these shutters that it was like you hit a button and it came down over the window.
Sure, and some people are trying to, fiddle with it or install those that they have to put the bolts on, and it's a big struggle.
Yeah.
So our windows are coastal impact rated, dependent on what you choose. Remember, custom, right? So you're custom choosing, do I want regular windows because I'm not on the coast and I'm not going to deal with that? Or, hey, I really want safety and protection from a projectile no matter where I'm at. And I want to go ahead and have coastal impact or a claim impact windows put on my home. Those are all conversations people are having, especially after a major storm like Helene.
Right. I was shocked. I mean, I've lived in Florida my whole entire life. I remember Hurricane David. Are you from Florida? Are you from this area?
I've been here a while.
Yeah. I think I was like in kindergarten. And I remember there was a lot of wind with that one. But I can't even get over all the damage that happened, like in the Carolinas and stuff like that.
So sad.
It blew me away. But like I said, I just remember like I was a nervous wreck with our home because we're still recovering from that
all
flood.
The floods and the damage that does. And I think those are major factors that you really have to consider. I was watching a couple videos where it was showing how, if they would have had the right rated windows, regardless, some of that water that came through some of these coastal homes in Clearwater and Sarasota that were right on the coast probably could have protected them from getting the major floods because it came through the windows and the doors.
Well, yeah. I saw some of them where it was like washing up onto the sliding glass doors and things like that.
Scary.
Yeah, sliding glass doors are part of your product profile as well, right?
Absolutely. We have not only sliding glass doors, we got French doors.
I like French doors.
Yes.
We have French doors.
Of course,
out to our,
custom colors and all kinds of good stuff.
Every window in our house needs to be replaced, Chelsea.
We are the company to take care of you.
I'm not kidding at all. Like I said, we have sliding glass doors, we have French doors. Our front door is like a fortress door. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what it's made out of. I think it's made out of like metal, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think a bulldozer could go through that thing. The rest of it needs a lot of help. But so that's why I like that I can actually ask you these questions and I'm thinking about myself in that situation too.
I like it.
So like I said, we're going to run to break here in just a few seconds. And then when we get back, I want to jump into more of the detail of like that one-to-one kind of interaction with the people that go to the houses. So we're going to do that. And so everybody stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to have more BaaD Radio.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Body Street of Winter Park. Experience the future of fitness at Body Street in Winter Park. Lose weight, build muscle, tone your body in only 20 minutes a week. Visit bodystreet.us, where fitness meets efficiency. And we are here with the Chief Marketing Officer of Renewal by Andersen, Chelsea. And so I'm super excited to have you here. And I've been kind of drilling you. She's like, I didn't realize that I was going to be doing a sales call while I was on this interview.
That's okay. We love it.
But I love having the opportunity to like really, because I learned so much about different things. But because I'm a homeowner, a lot of the people that come in here, I get to learn a lot of things. So when the time comes, I know that I am very, very informed on what to do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the process. So we did talk about, having your designers, right?
Design consultants.
Your design consultants come in, and so they sit with the homeowners for up to 90 minutes. And then how does it go from there?
So what we want to do is make sure that we're understanding what is your mission.
Right.
What is your design? What is your desire for these particular replacement windows or doors?
Mm-hmm.
And really listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's half the battle, because once we listen and understand and we create alongside of you the windows and doors of your dreams, because it's your home, you have to look at it every day. Then we go through a process where it allows you to know the quote. So the retail quote is good for an entire year.
Do they bring in like samples, or do they have a computer that kind of like has some images, or is it like a fold out? Like do the homeowners get to see?
Yes.
Okay.
What's great is we have an augmentation tool. So the augmentation tool allows you to see the choice of windows, the colors, and when they take that and they put it across your existing window, that image or hologram actually shows you in your home what it's going to look like.
That is cool.
It's super cool.
So they take it like a digital image, upload it, and then superimpose the window
it's
over the
live. So as the augmentation tool is put up to your window, you can see what that window is going to look like in your space.
That is so cool.
It's super cool. But they'll have samples. They'll have all the details of really the feel, the touch. They'll have a sample window so you can see it's significantly different than anything you've ever felt or touched before, especially if you don't have Renewal by Andersen windows in your home.
Right.
They're going to give you hardware choices to touch and feel. Colors.
Yeah.
Colors is great because we're one of the only companies that can work in historical areas to match those colors.
Okay.
Right?
Well, would be my house,
huge.
historical colors. I like a lot of browns and bricks and woods and things like that.
Yeah. So then you have all of the colors. You have samples. You have samples of the doors. And it really allows you to see it in your space with augmentation. So I'll send you that video. But it really gives you a good understanding and really are confident in saying, okay, that's what I want from my home.
And what about curved? Like I would love all of my windows to have like the curved top, even if it's the window's square, but it has the curved top with like maybe the panels in it or something that gives it that arc. Because I don't understand if that's hard or easy to do.
So it depends on what it is. Every unique home has its own thing. So some of them, we call them eyebrows.
Okay.
Over the top of a square window.
Right.
So you can do those. You can do equal egg arch. I mean, there's different styles because they're custom, right? There's some parameters that we have to stick to make sure that it's structural,
right?
That it's going to accommodate all the things that we're talking about for the energy efficiency and the envelope. But most of the time we can customize those depending on your home.
That's so cool. So I think it's amazing that the guest or the customer gets to see it like holographically before they that's got to be like one of those aha moments where like, oh yeah, I'm buying this because it looks really good.
Yeah, because sometimes you see it and you're like, oh, I thought I wanted grills, which is the patterns that are on the front. And they're like, wait a minute, I really don't. So take it off and let me see it without. And oftentimes those beautiful picture windows that have just an open space that you could see the outside at your backyard or whatever makes you happy. Then they'll say, oh, I don't really need that. I don't want those. But you don't know until you see it.
Right.
And that tool really helps you to see it.
Right. I would love, like we have French doors that go onto our back patio. And again, they're old, but they're the French doors and they just have little glass squares all the way around them. And I like that. But I'm like thinking maybe if we did like all glass or no, whatever the clear material is, I don't know if it's not glass, we might be able to get more of that natural light into that room. And it would probably be a heck of a lot easier to clean too, because trying to clean around those like in those little squares, I don't do it. That's pretty much what happens. Okay, so you sit down with the client and they get to see everything, and then they put together then you go into the proposal process.
Yeah, we answer all the questions. That's the biggest part, is it's listening
Mm-hmm.
to make sure we did not miss anything on our end. Then we go into the quote process, and they're able to really look at the quote, and you're able to say, do I want to do everything at one time? Because it's not necessary.
Right.
Maybe
Well,
even,
and lots of times it's a financial thing too, because it might be something that people have to do.
yeah, maybe
in
a
phases.
west facing. Maybe that's where the heavy
Mhm.
heat's coming in, and you're really like, those are the windows that are the most problematic for me.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you need to, but what's great is that we have all the measurements. So when
Mhm.
you're ready to do the next phase,
Mhm.
then we can easily order those for you.
Yeah.
And they're custom made for you in our plant in Minnesota. We just broke ground in our new plant in Georgia, Locust Grove,
Nice.
which is
Congratulations.
great.
Yeah.
So with Renewal by Anderson having another line, it'll be a little bit even quicker because
Right.
it'll be in the southeast, right?
Right.
Right in the back door of Florida. So lots of great things there. Timing depends on your particular project. Anywhere from 12 to 20 weeks. It depends. If
Okay.
they're standard windows, we're still going to customize them, but maybe they have a little quicker turn time because there's a lot more of them being made at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Every line's different because it is custom made for you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's well within any of the timelines that everyone else is seeing out there.
I'm curious though, because housing, like as developments go up, is there like a standard window size that a lot of the same construction companies use that kind of help that process, or is it really just different? Like our windows, there's no standard size. Like whoever designed the house didn't have like the convenience of changing windows or window fixtures or anything. They didn't think about any of that because it's very difficult. But I mean, do you see that with construction now? Is that there's kind of standard sizes?
Yeah, new construction is so unique. It depends on if you have a custom home, right? You're going to have more of those unique elements where you're talking to the round windows and the rounded on the edges. I think in new construction, it just depends on who the builder is, right? What we do is it's custom. So for us, if your window sizes are different in every room, it's okay because we're customizing that opening to you.
I was just wondering if maybe it made the process faster. Is there a lot of people still getting custom homes made?
Yeah.
Really? I see like just these huge developments going up all over the place, and I call them cookie cutter homes, and I'm just like, they all look the same to me. You might have 5 different variations of the same house, and you go down the neighborhood, and that's what you see.
I think it depends on the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Certain neighborhoods that are the older neighborhoods, sometimes they're just taking the house down altogether.
Yeah.
And they're rebuilding it custom, or they're renovating it really down to the studs, and they're bringing it all back up. Even in some of the Windermere homes that are older, that they really want to bring a modern style to.
Right.
We're doing a ton of business there just because it's custom and they want something unique that doesn't look like everything else they see out there. And I think to your point, as consumers, as homeowners, we don't want it to be cookie cutter. You have a unique personality. You want it to match your personality, and so that's why it's so important. And I think that's what sets Renewal by Anderson apart from everyone else out there is we're unique and custom. But we have so many choices that we can definitely help you with your choice of what is going to make you happy, which is at the end of the day, what we want for our homeowners. We want to delight our customers. We want to delight our homeowners. It's in our DNA at Renewal by Anderson. It really is. We don't want to just be that cookie cutter company that's just going to rush through and rush out. We're here to delight our customers from the very start that they have engagement with us, whether they see us at an event or they hear us on the radio, all the way through the process. In a turnkey method where they're not going, oh, you're just like everyone else. You're just like, we're not. We're completely different.
Absolutely love that. Music means we're going to break. And when we get back, we're going to have more BaaD Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. Do you know what your sprinkler system did last night? Do you, Chelsea? Probably not. So now's a good time to get your irrigation system serviced by Ground Up Property Services. And be sure to ask Rick Hall with Ground Up about our water sensor too, so your lawn doesn't get too much water. Call 407-468-4295 or visit groundupinc.net. So we're here with Renewal by Andersen, and we have the Chief Marketing Officer, Chelsea, with us. I know that I have not said your last name for the last 3 segments, and I did that intentionally because I don't want to mess it up.
Don't worry.
You're Chelsea to me. Yeah, one of our sponsors is called Ground Up Property Services, and they do irrigation systems. And you'd think that it's like, how long can you talk about irrigation systems? But as a sponsor, Rick comes on every quarter, and we talk for 2 hours. We do the full 2 hours, and we learned so much about curb appeal, like people's lawns. So much of this show has really been about and for homeowners because we talk a lot of service industry. So do you know that a water sensor is literally as simple as a cork? A cork.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when a cork gets wet, it fills up, right?
Yeah.
And so it swells. So that's how the water sensor works. So when the water level gets higher, the cork swells up and it triggers something, so it turns the irrigation system off. It's fascinating, isn't it?
That's really interesting.
But
I would have never thought about that way.
I would have thought it would have been a lot more like technical, right?
Absolutely.
We're talking like cork science here, so. But anyway.
Crazy.
So during break, we were talking about the different events. And actually, we talked about events at the beginning of the show because that is where I've seen Renewal by Andersen time and time again. I am a big supporter of event marketing. I love going to events. I love working events. I love meeting people and getting to see their personalities and working a booth for somebody. I've worked booths for like AC companies before, a lot of radio work. And I simply love it. So I love the fact that Renewal by Andersen understands the power of event marketing. And there's people that come there just to get all the free stuff. I get it. But for the most part, a lot of nice families go there, and it's a great place to meet your target market there. So we were talking about some of the events that you guys have coming up. So I know you do big, small, in between, all of it, right?
We do, and we do a lot with our sports teams. So
Tell me about that.
We're official sponsor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Nice.
Proud partner of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Nice.
We do a ton. We're a proud partner, of course, of the Solar Bears. So right here in Central Florida.
Very, very nice.
So we have activations in every single one of those. So we're in the van zone. We're talking to customers. We're really getting them pumped up about the game. But we have some local events that we have coming up this weekend as well. Everything from the Orlando Health Windermere Run to the Lake Mary Farmers Market, big and small. You oftentimes will see us there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like that's event marketing, but that's also community involvement. Like sponsoring those things are like it's like a reach out type of thing as opposed to I'm going to set up and I'm going to sell. That's a lot of that mentality doesn't apply to some of those like the 5Ks and things like that. So I think that's really, really important.
We just really want to give back, and we want to be a responsible company in our community. Oftentimes everybody says, oh, your guys are so big, but we're not. We have local owners right here in Central Florida. They live right here, and they're a part of our community. Everything from, our big initiative is the Renewal by Andersen United Against Cancer. I was a cancer survivor, so naturally it's a big purpose-driven thing for me in October.
Tell me about that a little bit. Yeah, because we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month right now.
Right
I was going to wear my pink shirt, but I didn't.
Yeah, we do a big initiative across the entire country with all Renewal by Andersen's called United Against Cancer. So it's really a big focus for us locally to be able to drive many of the people that we deal with day to day, and it goes directly to the American Cancer Society.
Does
and it's
it
just
really?
Something so special for us. So this morning I posted on my Facebook, and then I reached out to a couple of our media partners, and they were like, oh, 100%, let's go. So I'm already, I think, to $1,000 out of my personal $3,000 goal. And I think it's just, and within a few minutes, people were jumping on board and really excited about how can we help, and unite against cancer in a unique way. I had ovarian cancer, and it was really scary when I was 40. And so it gives me an extra sense of
I'm so glad you're okay.
Responsibility. Yes, of course. And you look back and you're like, those were tough times. Those were struggling times, but it's what you can do after you heal to help others that are going to go through this or have gone through it or have lost loved ones. So we rally against with it, and it's our big rally cry for October. But we do a ton. We work with Team Addo. That's a group that provides the out the individual veterans that are coming out of the military with custom-made suits.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
So they have something to go and when they're looking for a new job, they have a custom-made suit. So we work with Team Addo. We work with them every single year. They have huge events that do in the Tampa market. They do all around Florida. They're amazing.
We had a good friend that had a show on here. He moved, but he had a show called Boots to Business.
Oh, wow.
And I know that he's going to but he, like you said, he moved up north, and it was such a good show because he was ex-military. He was in the Army, and his whole focus of his show was how to how you make that transition from being in the military to, he's like, you get out and you just take whatever job you can get. And
so tough.
I didn't know that there was other companies that were out there to kind of
we
help.
gotta connect them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just to be able to see them getting presented their suits, and they're not like cheap suits. They're
I'm sure they're nice.
$2,000 plus custom-made suits.
Dang.
And they're given to these individuals, and they're so, you can see their heart, so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we partner with them. We partner with, military is another big focus for us. We have the military window at the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. So you go up to the window.
Say that one more time.
So the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Okay.
It's their baseball team.
Okay.
And we have a military window.
Fun.
Of course. You go up to the window, and if you're a military personnel, you get tickets to the game on behalf of Renewal by Anderson.
That is so great.
Yeah, you get to sit in a special section, and
Oh
it's
my
really
God.
special for our military personnel. But we really work with a lot of the events to help support everything from Give Kids the World is another one that we really rally behind every year. And it's just little things like that that help us.
Oh, girl, that's not little. Those things are huge.
But all that even if we look at it as little things add up to really big things in our community. And we want that. You know, we have from Southern Georgia to Venice that we service.
Mm-hmm.
And we have multiple locations within that space. We want to make sure we're giving back to every community, and we're doing it right on behalf of Renewal by Anderson and Renewal Cares.
No, I think that's amazing. Like I said, I'm kind of speechless right now, especially with all the initiatives. And I mean, I can imagine it's a lot to take, to try to keep track of all that stuff. And then on top of that, offer the superior service. So I know that you guys do the Winter Park. There's the Sidewalk Art Festival, and there's also the Autumn Fall Festival. So that autumn one's coming up. What do you guys do in your booth? Like, what do you do to kind of get all that going? And I just realized that clock started going.
Yeah.
So we have about a minute and a half.
Problem.
So
we have a ton of different activations that we do. We definitely talk about, how can we prepare their windows or doors in their home for the fall? But we have activation, we have giveaways, we have a spin to win wheel.
I love spin to wins.
Love it. And they're able to, sometimes win good stuff like tickets to football games and stuff like that. So we really interact.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's a reason to come by. And then you have them sign up. And then lots of times do you offer a free consultation? Or you some way let us come to your own house and give you an assessment, even if you don't really need it?
Definitely a complimentary in-home consultation always. We're here to service our homeowners. That way we're giving you every bit of knowledge you need to make the right decision for your home.
That is absolutely wonderful. Well, I can't thank you enough for being on here. Go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about some contact information. How do people get in touch with Renewal by Anderson?
Absolutely. You can go to the website at bestwindowsflorida.com. We're happy to take your information. You can learn more about us there and all of the things that we do for the community, as well as the things that we're doing maybe next weekend or the weekend after, so you can come see us in person.
That's what I wanted to do. So you guys, I know they're going to be at the Autumn Art Festival in Winter Park, which is, I think it's the October 20th and 21st, or right around there. So you guys go by and see them and say hi, and you can say that BaaD Radio sent you there. So again, Chelsea, thank you so much for being on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask you to be on again. So
I would love it. Honored to do so. Thank you so much, Angela.
Everybody stay tuned, because we got another hour of BaaD Radio coming up.